So the month of October is here, and I'm getting all my Halloween decorations out to decorate. A lot of my Halloween decor is what I have collected over the years, and I keep them in plastic tubs, and I store them in my garage all year. And I learned this from my grandma, just to keep things organized and labeled, so I know what is in the tubs for whatever holiday it is. A lot of my decor comes from thrift shopping, antique stores, and Walmart, and whatever else store that I'm at, then if I find something that I like. I like to antique and I like to age my decor sometimes because I like the old, rustic, primitive-y look for my type of style. So at the end of this video, I'll actually show a few crafts on how I age my stuff. So I'm taking all my summer decor down and I'm going to give everything a really good clean before I start decorating. That way everything is fresh and clean, all dusted to start this Halloween season. So a lot of this stuff has come from Walmart over the years, and also Home Goods was a place I shopped at in the past couple years, but most of my stuff comes from antiquing. And Hobby Lobby actually used to sell Halloween decorations at one time, but for some reason they stopped selling Halloween decor. So I actually have a few things from Hobby Lobby as well. So all this stuff I just buy here and there through the years, and my collection has been growing. And I absolutely love going antique shopping because you can find the best things whenever you find vintage, ceramic pumpkins, and just the old stuff. I'm really into rusticy old stuff for my style. So I like to set out all my big items first. That way I can see what all I have, because I tend to forget what I have stored away all year in those tubs. Then I'll start placing all of my smaller items around the big stuff, and then I'll place like the fake leaves and berry garland, and then I'll string in some orange Halloween battery operated lights, and that's what really brings everything together and makes it look good. So all this really takes a couple days to rearrange on how I want everything to look, and just getting all the stuff out takes a while to go through. So I have an old hutch, and I have a buffet, and then I have an old pie safe in my living room because we don't have a big dining room. There's just no room. My kitchen and dining room is kind of really small, and there's just no space for any of my furniture. But I'm hoping one day we can build on down the road. But right now everything just feels fine and it's just cozy. So everything is just in my living room now and decorated. So these galvanized buckets are actually a dupe from Pottery Barn, and I actually found them one day when I was shopping. I was so excited because I really wanted the Pottery Barn ones, but these ones were way cheaper. I just placed them on my pie safe, and then I decorated our hutch, and it turned out really good. I got some lights stringed up through there, some battery operated candles, and some fake leaves and berry garland, and everything just kind of flows together on this hutch. Now a lot of this stuff, the ceramic stuff, is aged with some paint, and at the end of this video, like I said, I'm going to show how I age things with some craft paint that I have. And because a lot of this is like too bright of an orange for my liking, so I have to tone it down and age it to look kind of vintage. some of the newer stuff that I bought, I just needed it to look vintage looking. And I think it really turned out really good on this hutch. Then I placed some battery operated candle lights into these galvanized pumpkins and turned on all the lights at night, and it just makes it so cozy that you just want to watch a Halloween movie with your kids. And I know my kids really enjoy decorating for every holiday, and they get so excited. It just makes the holiday season that much more exciting for them. And they really like helping me decorate, which a lot of this stuff is breakable, but I try to include them as much as I can. Later on, we're actually going to do a family tradition that we do every year since our older kids were younger. But I really like how this turned out with the candlesticks and all the lights turned on. It just makes it feel so, just the Halloween spirit is really, it just makes it that much better. So I got everything lit up here. This was early morning, so the sun was just coming up here, and got somewhat of a good video. So I have this end table, this vintage end table, and I put all of my kids' books and magazines so we could read throughout this month of October. And then I'm going to go through some crafts that I've done over the years. This one is a burlap pumpkin sack, and I just stuffed it and I hand painted on the face. I've had this for years, and I just place it on my milk can that I got from my grandpa. And this is actually a quilt top that I've made, and I just have not finished it yet. It's pretty small still, and I just need to finish it one day. And then my favorite project that I did last year was these Halloween candy sacks for my kids. And I think they turned out so good. I worked so hard on making these last year. I just want my kids to have something whenever they're older. That's something that I have made them. So it has this really cute liner on the inside, and it's the perfect print of candy for the candy sack. And I found this fabric at Joann's craft store last year, and I'm really happy of how these turned out. And I'm still debating on if I should hand sew all of their names on them, so I'll probably do that one day. So this is from Hobby Lobby. It's a fall picture that I hung up on my wall with some floral galvanized containers on each side. So this is actually really silly, but I end up putting some witch hats on all of our deer heads. And I actually do this at Christmas time with Santa hats, and I name all the reindeer names on these deer heads, which is really funny, and the kids love it. And then I just placed this grapevine wreath on my pie safe to kind of pull everything together. And then into the kitchen, I did a little tablescape on, this is just leftover stuff that I've had in the tub, and I just wanted to use it up. I figured why not use up some of the stuff that I have left over in my tub. And a lot of this stuff actually is my Thanksgiving decor. I decorate for Thanksgiving after Halloween is over, so a lot of this is the same tablescape that I use for Thanksgiving. And I just placed down my Halloween fabric for a tablecloth. Now the one on the bottom that's black with pumpkin heads, that's actually something that my grandmother has made. So she gave it to me, and then I got more fabric from Joann's last year. And then there's a table runner of the checkered print, and I just placed, the leaves and everything inside that. And then on top of my fridge, since my kitchen is so small, I actually decorate on top of my fridge every year. And this is just stuff that I have, hanging around the house. I got the chicken from my great-grandmother, and then just random things putting up there. So I got I thought it was just really cute. I love the rustic-y farmhouse look of on top of the fridge. And then I decorate my guest bathroom every year, and it's just something really simple, nothing too crazy. And then I was moving on to my porch. Now I haven't decorated my porch yet. I was just getting everything out. So I planted some mums into all my containers, and then last year I think it was last year, 2 years ago, I made this cornstalk wreath for my front door, and I just store it in my garage every year so I don't have to remake it. And I found a really cute rug at Walmart and just laid it down. And I really kept it simple this year on my front porch. And just have these gas cans that I drew the faces on them, and my husband torched them for me a long time ago. And I just placed some candles in there so it lights up at night. And it's just really simple and cute little farmhouse style porch. So we have this skeleton that my kids like to get out every year. And then just all the mums were planted. So everything kind of just is simple. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but I like simple. Because usually when it gets cold outside at the end of October, when it's time to clean up, I don't really like to be cold. So I just kept it really simple this year. Then down halfway through our driveway, we have a circle drive, and I planted some more mums in some galvanized washing tubs. So this is actually our family tradition that we do every single year. We like to make a scarecrow at the end of our driveway, and my kids always look forward to making this every year. We do this all as a family, and I use one of my grandpa's old t-shirts. He passed away a couple years ago, so I use one of his t-shirts, and then I handmade this face on fabric. And then my daughter likes to put on the hat every year. And then this is what we like to do every year as a family. We always take a family photo when we're all done. And then now I'm going to get into the crafts of how I do everything. Now, I made these pumpkins a couple years ago, and they are just a little too white for my liking, so I am going to tea dye them today and just make them look a little more rustic for how I like everything to look. So I literally just boil some water, and I put some tea bags, as many tea bags as you want to make it as dark as you want. And I let it cool down just a little bit, and then I'll just take all that tea and place it all over the pumpkin as much as I can, however dark I want it. You just kind of got to play around with this. And then I actually took some leftover coffee that I had from the morning, and I took some of the coffee and did the same thing. So there's actually tea and coffee all over this. And then I just set it outside to dry in the sun, because it's a lot faster from the heat of the sun to dry. And I really love how rusticy, primitive-y this looks, and it just fits my style a lot more than the pure white pumpkins. And I was actually meaning to do this a couple years ago, but I just never got around to it. So I really love how this turned out. And then how I aged my plastic pumpkins on my buffet is I just took some craft paint, and then I just paint all over the pumpkin, get it good and painted. And I take some paper towels, and then I wipe off And you gotta be careful here not to be so rough and hard, because you'll wipe off the paint and you'll have to repaint again. But just gently take off some of the paint, and you'll just have to kind of eyeball this to see how you like the look. And it took me quite a while to get it exactly how I wanted it to look. And then at the very end, I just grabbed one of my old pumpkins off the buffet to kind of see if they kind of match, which this little pumpkin was still wet, so they didn't look identical, but I just going off if I needed to add more paint or not. So I just basically just keep working until I get exactly how I like the pumpkin to look. So this is what I finished with. It looks pretty similar to all my other pumpkins. So here I'm comparing the two, making sure everything kind of looks even from the other ones from previous years, and it's looking pretty good. And then I placed it together with the other pumpkins on my buffet, and it just keeps growing every year whenever I find one at a thrift store or Walmart, but I always try to find one that's cheap. Now this is a candle holder that I made a long time ago out of fabric, and I tea dyed it, which you can't hardly tell in this video. These pumpkins are all dry, and I'm just showing you here of how it turned out. I think it turned out really good. I love the look of the vintage, rustic, primitive look. And I just placed it with this other pumpkin here. Well, I hope you guys enjoy decorating for Halloween as much as I did. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next video.